Hey friends, my name's Aaron. Is that the right camera? That's not the right camera. What happened? Hold on. Come on, EOS webcam utility. Do your job. Do the one thing. There it is. What's up, friends? Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We are going to be taking a look at... Where are they? Where are they? RCinpower 0702 29,000 kV motors. Possibly the most powerful motors
in the world.
In Chris Rosser's testing, these were the most powerful 702s. So, unbelievably, there's something more powerful than the Happy Model 0702 40,000s, which is just insane because, like, flying those inside of the house is like lighting your hair on fire and then having your hair be on fire. Welcome to hell, friends. Curtis Hayes was first in the chat. I don't know why. I just figured I'd throw that in there. Curtis Hayes, Frank Nicholas, Notice, Bagzilla, Beef FPV, Nerone, Freelojo, David 4F, Socks and Rocks, Martin Tanley, King Dingaling, Skyotic, J Monk. I don't know what Socks and Rocks means. It just makes me laugh. Uriel, Northern Tier, McMucus, Cheetonian, Douglas 6, JMPFPV, Willie Summit, JMPFPV, Cheetonian, 661, Scotty Scott, Brent Anderson, Perside. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming. CiottiFPV.com is the website where you can support me. This is a completely crowdfunded thing. This way, when I review stuff, I don't care if they don't send me something else. You guys pay the bills, so I tell you what's what. If something sucks, I'll tell you it sucks. If something's good, I'll tell you it's good. I have no reason not to. If I start lying, you guys will stop supporting me, because, you know, you won't want to be lied to. Yeah, do it. Go to CiottiFPV.com and click some buttons. Join the Patreon. It's the best way you can support me. This is what it looks like. Little Linktree site. Here's the streaming schedule. Patreon helps me out the most. You can join Patreon for as little as $3 a month. That's 10 cents a day. I do 10 hours of live streaming a week. It's a pretty good deal, isn't it? Etsy's got some really fun stuff. Full build, stickers, hardware. Fiverr, you can work one-on-one with me, take advantage of over 8 years of knowledge, get actual answers to questions, not just trash info from Facebook and Reddit. More than 50% of the answers you'll get on those two websites are dead-ass wrong. Teespring's got some fun stuff as well. PayPal if you want to support me directly, but you don't want YouTube to take 30% of your super chat. And then look at all these affiliate links, yo. Change your bookmarks to someone's affiliate links. If you don't use bookmarks, change your URL bar suggestion so that when you type AMA for Amazon, you actually go to my affiliate link. Just delete your current suggestions for all these websites and then hit these links a couple times. And that'll fool your browser into thinking that when you go to Hisingy's website, you actually want to go to my affiliate link. Amazon, GetFPV, Pyrodrone, Race Day Quads, Newbie Drone, Weebleed, BetaFPV, FPV Cycle, Hisingy, oh my god, Brain 3D, HD0, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera Body, AliExpress, blah, 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 blah. Support me and I'll keep doing this forever. And we can have the best flying tiny whoops until the dawn of time. This is my order from Race Day Quads with fun stuff. First and foremost, oh, farts. I forgot that I put garbage in here. First and foremost are the RCinpower 0702 29,000 kV motors, which I've already bolted down to a frame so that we can have a better chance of flying a bunch of oh! Speaking of flying batteries, I have to charge batteries. But luckily the Vifly tooth store, or whoop store, goes up to 0.9 of an amp. And so we will have batteries charged in a New York minute. The hell does that mean? What is a New York minute? And how does it differ from Atlanta minutes? That's the real question. Is it? Is it? It's not. Cool. So there's that. I got a bunch of... these new Gemfan 35mm biblades and tri-blades. One of the biggest problems with the Meteor 65 Pro frame was that the propeller selection kind of sucked. These propellers are going to be much better. It's still going to suck, though. It's still going to be too heavy for inside, and I don't really... like, why would you not fly a 75mm rig outside? And so, maybe, just maybe... if you absolutely can only possibly have one single tiny whoop in your life, maybe the 35mm propped 65 Pro setup is the one to do. It's not, but I'll test it because, my God, a lot of you ask me all the time if the 65 Pro is the way to go. And it's not, and it won't be, but we'll test it, and I'll tell you why. Not tonight, but we will. So yeah, this, let me put it in a little, I'll even put it in a little build bag. Save your old propeller bags. They are brilliant for everything on Earth. Use them in your whole house, but also they're perfect little build bags so that you put, you know, the propellers with the frame, and then you put this somewhere and you remember to do the thing in the place. I got a couple more CL Racing purple. It's hard to find ARM LEDs, Racewire LEDs in purple. And yeah, CL Racing makes them. So I snagged a couple of these. Because having LEDs on the arms of your rig is awesome. It's, if you're flying at night, your visual observer that you all obviously are using every time you fly, right? Will be able to see your quad at the appropriate amount of stat shoot miles. It's been a while since I took my Part 107. I don't remember what that is. Is it 2? Who knows in the chat? Don't even bother answering. It doesn't matter. None of us pay any attention. We pay attention, but the Part 107 rules are kind of dumb. And so don't waste brain space memorizing them. I've begun the M4 stick end box again. I used to have 2 stick end boxes that if you joined my Patreon, you would have access over on the Discord channel. You would get full access to the Discord channel. One of the Patreon only groups in the Discord channel is called Stick and Dick Ends, because I'm a child. In that channel, it explains that I bought one set of every single stick end that exists in both M3 and M4 size. And you were able to rent those boxes out from me, so that you can actually try these stick ends before you buy them, because a picture of a stick end does you no good whatsoever. You have no idea if you're actually going to like it or not. And so you end up buying 2 and 3 and 4 different sets of stick ends, and they're like 20, 30 bucks each. It gets expensive. And so the M3 and M4 boxes have gone all over the damn place. The M3 box has managed to find its way back to me. The M4 box disappeared forever, unfortunately. So this is the first set of M4 stick ends. No, I have another set. I have a set of Weebly red ones. I will be slowly rebuilding the M4 stick end box. So there's that. And then eventually you guys can rent it out again for me. But for right now, it's non-existent. RDQ always gives you an option for a little battery strap, which is great because their battery straps are awesome. They have this nice grippy material on them. I wish they had a plastic buckle. These metal buckles are really heavy. And then the other thing that I got was the reason I did the order. I did this order the second that I finished watching Rosser's video comparing the 40 different Tiny Whoop motors, where the RCinpower is made significantly more power than everything else. And so the reason for the order was to get the motors. But to get to the free shipping number, I bought a bunch of other stuff. I've now got some more motors to test on 2S. I have thus far on... So hey, by the way, the... at the beginning of the stream, you were watching the... Oh, shit. It's on the T-Motors. Oh, cool. Okay. I thought it was on RCinpower 1002s. No, it's not. It's on T-Motor 1002s. Rad. Yeah, you were looking at the 2S analog rig on T-Motor 1002 18,000s, motor limited down to 80%. With Tiny Whoop 2S 300 mAh battery, BT 3.0, Mobula 7 V3 frame, Mobula 6 canopy, Runcam Nano. What AIO is this? This is the one with the X12 AIO, and I beat this thing up pretty good today. I flew 3 batteries on it and just crashed the shit out of it, and it's really cold out here in Atlanta right now. And with the cold, usually Tiny Whoops run into durability problems because plastic gets really hard and brittle and breaks. This Mobula 7 V3 frame is blowing me away by how durable it is. It just will not die. The Mobula 6 canopy is I mean, I know that those are durable. But yeah, man, this build, I have pounded pretty good, and it's fine. This is like the 3rd or 4th set of props. The 1.5mm motor shafts are obviously holding up really well. Not obviously. But yeah, this might be my favorite thing to fly right now. It is so good. It's like the exact right weight. The runtime is great. I get like, if I really jam the whole battery, I'll get a little bit less than 3 minutes. If I spend like 30 seconds of the battery just relaxing, I'll get over 3 minutes. The power is phenomenal. You can bang it into stuff and the guards protect it. It bounces off. Crash prevention comes on and you keep flying. If it does crash, the guards keep things from pushing against the propellers and preventing them from spinning, so you can almost always turtle mode it back over and take it back off in the grass and the leaves, like off the roof. This is outrageous. The 2S 75mm thing is... It just continues to blow my mind. So, yeah, I'm staggered. If you're going to run the Mobula 7 V3 frame and motors that are 2mm tall, 802, 1002, 1102, the propellers are going to sit too low in the ducts. What you need are M1.4x4 screws and 1 to 1.2mm motor risers. You can get a 100-pack of the screws from eBay, or you can buy some from me. I bought a big bag of the screws, and then Timmons very kindly made us a whole bunch of the spacers. The other way to get these spacers is to order a BetaFPV Air 65 or Air 75 frame, and then that comes with 1.2mm spacers. Unbelievably, it doesn't come with the motor screws that you would need to use them, but that is your way. If you want to not order this stuff from me, that's how you do it. You order an Air 65 or an Air 75 frame to get the spacers, and then you go on eBay and you search for M1.4x4 and you buy a bag of 100. Or you can support your gangly buddy and shoot me a message. All my contact info is on the website. And say, yo, I need some of the M1.4x4 screws and some of the spacers, and I'll ship them to you, and then you'll be helping me continue to do this full time. Look at this, yo! Look what my dad got me. He did this last year. This year he got me a lot more. That's right, goddammit. You know you've finally made it when your name is on an M&M. Well, just pretend like this camera isn't such a piece of dog shit, and it says CiottiFPV.com on it. I have enough of these to put in every single giveaway for all of 2025. So I have to continue doing all the live streams because I can't let these go to waste. So yeah, every single giveaway, you will get your own CiottiFPV branded white M&Ms. Is that not the most exciting thing that you've ever heard? It's not? Oh, fuck you too. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. I love you. Why you gotta be such a jerk? Mean. Bunch of mean people. No, I love you guys. You're good. You're alright. You're not mean. I'm mean. I'm the mean one. The last part of the mailbag, I got some more motors to test on 2S. This is the Happy Model EX1002 20,000 kV. And then this is the Flywoo Robo 1002 19,800 kV. And so, yeah, we actually haven't... Like, I've flown a bunch of these 1002s. I've flown the T-Motor 1002s, the RCinpower 1002s, the BetaFPV 1102s, the Sub 250 0803s, all on 2S 75mm rigs. And basically, the RCinpower motors... the BetaFPV 1102s make the most power. RCinpower 1002s make a little bit less. T-Motor 1002s make a little bit less. Sub 250 0803s make a little bit less. But it would be nice to get some actual numbers on these to kind of quantify it. So we're going to do another spreadsheet live stream like we've been doing. Spin these motors up in... Woo! Okay. It exploded and vomited the motor out across the room. Yeah, we're going to do a 2S spreadsheet, and we'll see if I can chop my fingers off during the testing to see with... which of these motors are making more power than the others. I gotta be honest here, though. It kind of doesn't matter. Because all of these motors are being motor limited down. And so all of these motors make enough power. The actual flight testing that I'm doing is the important part, because that gives us the efficiency of the motor as well. And just like what it feels like in the air. So yeah, I almost didn't buy, you know, I have a tendency, like, when I get into something, to buy one of every whatever, one of every motor, one of every propeller, so that we can test everything. It's good content and, you know, completionist, right? And so I almost didn't do this, but I'm curious enough that I said to hell with it. Let's go for it. And here we are. So we've got some motors to test. What's up, little boo? What are you doing? I can't eat. You're dropping it on the ground. What is? Oh, you made the brownies. Leave it upstairs for me. It'll take me forever.
Get star.
Oh my god, good. I got a star. Thank you.
Okay.
Wait. Don't move. Oh my god. There's so much falling on the ground.
Because I'm gonna.
All right.
Like all of it. I'm gonna take the rest.
Hold on. Stay right there. I just don't want you to step on the other brownie that you dropped on the fancy carpet. All right, go smoothly. Walk smoothly, little boo.
Are you sure you don't want any more?
I'm good. Thank you, though. I'm gonna, as soon as I'm done this live stream, I'm gonna eat everything that you haven't eaten up there.
I'm taking it all.
That's good, man. That's a good brownie.
So do you want more?
Leave a little bit. Leave me a little bit. Leave me like this much. That's how much I'm gonna eat as soon as the stream's over. Okay. Leave me as much as you can. I won't eat it all. Oh, okay. That's fine. Leave me that much. Thank you, little boo. I ate the brownie off the carpet and now there's hair in my mouth.
Wow. No, just eat it off the carpet.
Super62 hates my advice, and he bought, and then he stopped typing. Oh well, that's okay. Do you hate my advice because it makes you spend money? Is that what you're saying? So yeah, we got some motors to test on 2S. We'll see. Again, all of these motors are making plenty of power. The efficiency and the way that they put their power down in the air, like where the hover point is, that kind of stuff, that's really what's the most important. But what the hell, man? We be testing. So let's just keep testing. So yeah, I've now got 4 different motors. I've got the sub 250 20,000 1002, the Happy model, the Flywoo, the T motor, the RCinpower, and then the sub 250 803, the BetaFPV 1102. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 that I've missed, but there's got, you know, you got to stop at some point. I might actually. I'm not good at stopping. That's what she said. Is it? Is it, though? I might snag 1 or 2 more before we dive into that testing. But we'll see. We'll see. No promises. Are there any motors that anybody is desperate to see tested on 2S 75mm builds? Let me know. Let me know. All right, I'm somewhat cleaned up now. Tonight we're gonna test these motors, and we're gonna put these motors up against some other high-powered motors, namely the Firefly 702 36,000s, which are on this guy right here. I was very tempted, and I actually left this out. This is the walk snail. This is the walk snail ring. The walk snail 1S65. And I was very tempted to put these RCinpower motors onto this guy because it's the fattest 65mm rig that I have. And so, most powerful motors, heaviest rig, match made in heaven, right? No. This rig has enough power. What it doesn't have is enough runtime. And these RCinpower motors are the least efficient of the motors in Rosser's like 40 plus that he tested. So this would be a terrible platform for these motors. But what I did do on this rig is put the new HQ bi-blades on it. Maybe they'll make it a little bit more efficient. But I don't think we're going to have time to test it tonight, so I'm just going to put it over there. The other rig that we're going to compare these two tonight is this ultralight mega super insano ultimate Mobula 6 2024. Started life as a Mobula 6 2024 version 1 with no motor plugs, the extra lightweight one. I moved it over to an old school Mobula 6 ball sack canopy, Runcam Nano 3, ORT Micro V antenna, the Weebleed 0702 40,000 kV motors. I then switched the bells to the new 1.5mm motor shaft bells, and then there's only one propeller option really, which is the Gemfan 1210, and it's on a Newbie Light AF frame with one of these very cool Tiny Whoop BT 2.0 180 degree LED jib jabs, right? And so this is going to be a comparison point tonight. We're going to fly this. We're going to fly this, which is pretty much the same exact build, but with the 0702 Firefly motors, which are 36,000 kV, on... What props are these? These are the HQ... What are you? 1.2 by 0.9 by 3, the new HQ ultralight tri-blades. These props make awesome power, and combined with a 36,000 kV 0702, it should be gnarly. This rig is a little bit heavier. It's on a 2G4 AIO. Same camera, same canopy, same antenna, slightly different frame. This is the Cockroach V3 frame, a little bit heavier, a little bit more durable though. So yeah, we're going to compare to this, and then I'm going to rip this apart. I'm going to take the AIO and canopy out of this, and I'm going to drop it into this frame with the RCinpower motors, and we'll see if they tear a hole in the space-time continuum, which they very well might. Because, yeah, this is a lightweight. What's interesting about these motors is that they're not efficient, and so you don't want to pair them with a build that's heavy, because you're going to get really short run times. You're going to really hurt your batteries. So it's like you got to pair these motors with a light build to get the efficiency out of them, but then God only knows what the power to weight ratio is going to be. Well, it's going to be 6-to-1. I did the math on the previous live stream. So it's going to be absolutely insane. I don't know, man. Like I'm super excited to see to fly these, but I have a funny feeling I'm not going to keep this thing together, because it's not a great combination of things, right? It's a combination of like lightweight, but then like too much power. If I have a lightweight rig, I typically set that up with lower kV, less powerful motors for better throttle resolution. And then if I have a heavier rig, I put it with more powerful motors, but the Happy Model motor selection is all really efficient. Even the 40,000s, like, they're super efficient motors, so you can kind of get away with that. These are not efficient, so it's just, you know, I think this is kind of gonna sort of be a meme build, which, that'll be fun. That's okay. I'm cool with that. Look, yo, I got magnets again, and look how little they are. They're little baby magnets. I ordered from a new place, Sticky Stickums. Yeah, the CiottiFPV magnets are back. I have to change the measurements on the website because they're smaller than the previous ones. But yeah, I got magnets again, which is awesome. I use these as business cards actually, because they're magnetic and people put them on their refrigerators. And then years later, they're like, yo, you're that drone guy, right? You've been on my on my refrigerator forever. And now that I need a drone guy, I called you. And I was like, wow, that works a hell of a lot better than a regular business card that people just throw right away. You know what I mean? Yeah? You don't know? Well. So that's the plan for tonight, my friends. Greetings, cretins. You got to build one of these, man. This 2S thing. Also, running the BT 3.0 lead out the back upwards like this, and then stuffing it into this hole in the canopy in the back. Perfection. I forget who figured that out, but when I meet you, I'm gonna give you a big smooch on the lips. Because it's perfect. It keeps these batteries. It keeps the Tiny Whoop batteries from ejecting out the front. Very exciting. Very exciting stuff. In the chat, Curtis Hayes says, I'm hanging out in Longmont, Colorado tonight. If anyone wants to join my hotel lobby where I have an iGal racetrack that will be set up in pizza probably around 7 p.m. Message me on Discord. Look at that. That's super cool. If anybody's near Longmont, Colorado, you better go hang out with Curtis Hayes or I'm going to slap you in public. King Dingling says, I put my BLV5 in a Mobile 7 V4 frame with soldered RS802 20,000, HQ Ultralight 40mm biblades, BT 3.0, 300 mAh tonight. Flew great by my standards until I flew my $80 Black Friday Mobile 8, that is. BLV5, Mobile 7 V4 frame, 802. I think those motors are what's letting you down. If you go up to a 1002, 20,000 kV motor, that thing will really come alive. Those 802s are just a little bit too small for a big power 2S 75mm rig. So yeah, if you want that thing to fly better than your Mobile 8, yeah, just take one little step up on the motors and I think you'll be absolutely blown away. Kevin Sumner dropping the CiottiFPV.com link. Thank you, dude. Chitonian says, in a New York minute, everything can change, but in an Atlanta minute, only 50% of things can change. It's just a speed of life difference. There you go. Martin Tanley said, if Disney said, film for me and bring your own 2.5 inch, what action cam are you bringing that you've tried? It's not, there's not like a simple answer to that. 2.5 inch rigs are not all that great for picking up full size action cameras. So the lightest option possible, which in my case would be like you said that I have tried, so it would have to be like Session 5. Yeah. DJI Action 2 would be a better option, but I've never tried it. Naked GoPro would be the best option. Naked GoPro Hero, I should say, would be the best option for sure. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Lewis says, what is the malignant spirit of FPV? Football has the carpet monster, golf has the boogeyman. Who will come to get you at night in FPV? I'm going to go with the flying spaghetti monster because it literally says flying in the name. FSM, baby. I actually, you have to pick a church in the South, maybe the whole country, when you get married. And I got married under the, married and then divorced under the Church of the Flying Spaghetti Monster in my 30s. Way back in the day. Blue Sky FPV says, any reason why you stick with high KV motors for 2S and motor limit instead of using a lower KV motor? Just wondering. There is not the right KV of motor. There are 14 and 15,000 kV motors, which is just a little bit too low. What we really want is like 16 and 17,000 kV motors, but they don't exist. So the closest that we can get is 18 to 19 to 20,000. But I always recommend you go with a motor that's a little too high of a kV, because then you can motor limit down, and then if at some point you want more RPM, you can motor limit back up. If you run a motor that's exactly the right kV and you have to run it at 100%, you're done. There's no, you can't go up, right? You can't motor limit to 110%. It doesn't work like that. So yeah, always, in my opinion, get motors that are slightly higher kV than you need. Down the road, if like a bi-blade comes out that's really low pitch, you can run it. Or if you fly at a location that's gigantic, or if you all of a sudden fly at high elevation, right, like 10,000 feet above sea level, there is a noticeable difference. And being able to crank the RPM up with motor limiting can totally save you. When I flew in Colorado with the live broadcast rigs, I was desperate for more RPM. At the time, I was using the highest kV motors that were available, but yeah, I would have loved to have had rigs that were motor limited to like 85%, because I could have cranked them up to 100 and they would have flown normally. But instead, I had rigs that felt like shit, because the air is so much thinner at high elevation. Cheetonian says, careful, I'm currently lacking some skin on my hand from a 2S build. Yeah, I really don't recommend that you spin up any builds that are more than 1S while you're holding them. It is a terrible idea. We'll see. I might just spin them up to like 50%, but I think I got to think about that. I don't think that'll give me the test results that I'm looking for. I don't know. Well, I'll figure it out. Martin Tanley says, I'm flying 2S baseline, and I'm a huge fan. Do you think 2S 75mm whoop style is better than open prop? I do. Curious if you've tried both. I have. Yeah, the open prop, toothpick or school bus style, whatever. It's with 2S on like 2.5 inch or 2 inch or even 3 inch. It's not enough. Like, you lose a lot of the accuracy and the point and shoot that you get from the guards, making it less aerodynamic, so that when you turn, the aerodynamic situation sucks and it turns with you. With an open prop rig, you turn and it just keeps going. And so you have to then like work harder to get it to turn, right? And so there's that, right? But then, but the flip side is like, open prop rigs have better flight characteristics. They do, because the aerodynamic situation is better, but like they don't make enough power and they don't go fast enough to make it worth it. If I'm going to do an open prop rig, it's going to be minimum 3S, 3 inch, maybe 2.5 inch. Because like, if I'm going to have this situation where I have to really work to get it to turn, and also if I'm going to be in a situation where almost every time I crash in the grass, it's not going to be able to push the grass out of the way to take back off, and I'm going to have to take the walk of shame over and over again, it's going to cover it's going to be rocket ship fast, right? So yeah, 2S for me is a 75mm whoop. It is just so good. It's so accurate. You can shoot all the tiny little gaps in your garden, front yard, backyard, wherever. The guards keep the grass out of the props, so you can flip it back over and take it back off. You're not constantly taking the walk of shame. And it just flies awesome. Also, the guards like slow it down a little bit. So like, if you're flying front of the house, back of the house, you can like fling it up in the air and you get like a good amount of hang time before it comes down, because it's less aerodynamic. With the open prop rigs, you'll get more power, so like you'll get more throw, but then you just end up going up higher, and like a lot of times that'll put you into like the tree canopy and stuff. There's an incredible balance with these 75mm 2S rigs. Speaking of 75mm 2S rigs, on the previous live stream, I was like, oh, you know what I'll do? No, I'm just going to take apart the 2S rig that's on the 0803 motors, and I'll just drop it into this frame here, this Mobula 7V4 frame that has these 802s, and I can test these. And I just completely spaced on the fact that this AIO has a full-size USB port, which gets in the way of the battery. But somebody was probably wondering what the hell I was talking about at some point. And so this is what that looks like. This is why with the Mobula 7 V4 frame, if you cut out the why does that work? The top battery bay supports, it fits these batteries perfect. These Tiny Whoop 2S 300 BT 3.0s, right? These fit beautifully into this frame when you do that. But then the USB port is all up in your business. Like, look how bad that is. It's like, it's so incredibly in the way. So this setup, this Mobula 7 V4 frame, if you're going to use it with 2S batteries, you have to use the BetaFPV 12 amp AIO, which uses a JST plug here with a little USB dongle, and it has no USB on the bottom. Unfortunately, this AIO does not have a VTX built in. So this AIO is perfect for the walk-snail builds or an externally VTX'd HD0 build, but for analog, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I was thinking about hooking up a TBS Pro 32 Nano, but like that's an awful lot of work, and I'm just gonna rob another walk-snail VTX from another rig and put this thing back together because it's just too good with walk-snail. And so, yeah, that was a complete fail, and I felt like the biggest idiot in the world today, charging up these batteries, getting all excited to fly this thing, and then going to put a battery in it and going, oh, you absolute twat. So, yeah, I got to figure something out. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll figure it out. I'll make a plan. Don't you worry. I have an order in for the 1.5mm motor shaft HQ ultralight 1.6-inch props, which I will be trying on the 33,000 kV 802 motored analog 1S 75mm rig. That'll be fun. That's an order I did from Tiny Whoop. They have those in stock. What else is happening in the chat? Mario Bean says, should you throttle limit along with motor limit? No. Pick one. And pick motor limit. Unless you're throttle limiting specifically to get better throttle resolution. Motor limiting in the PIDs tab is there for when you put a motor that is legitimately too high of a KV. And so you're going to motor limit down so that the PID loop doesn't have access to too much power. You don't want that. You don't want the PID loop to have an infinite amount of power. You want it to have like 6-to-1, 8-to-1, 10-to-1 power to weight ratio max. So like for example, on a 5-inch rig, if you're gonna do what I did for many years and run a 4S kV motor on 6S, so like a 2306 2400 kV motor on 6S, you have to motor limit that down. You cannot let the PID loop have 2400 kV on 6S. It will explode and shoot flames, and it's just too much. If you were running a properly KV'd motor, like an 1850 kV motor on 6S, and you just wanted a little bit better throttle resolution, and you just wanted a little bit better, a little bit more, less power, Jesus, you can use the throttle limiting in that case. And that'll just chop the top of your throttle off. You can do that throttle limiting in your transmitter. My favorite thing to do is that Joshua Bardwell has a video on how you can change these knobs to be throttle limiting. And so my right knob, I got a right and a left knob. Who you know that's got a hemipene? I can't believe so, some snakes have two dicks and they're called hemipenes. I that's a fact that I know. Yeah, your right knob or your left knob, whichever one you want, whichever way you swing, can be a throttle limit. So you don't have to worry about doing it in Betaflight. You don't have to worry about doing it anywhere else. You can just turn the fucking thing. A word of caution. If you ever actually do back this knob off down to 90% or 80% or whatever, fair warning, you're going to forget at the end of that flight session to turn this knob back up. And then the next time you go and fly all your quads, you're going to be very confused because they're all going to almost feel like they have less power, but they can't possibly all have less power. That doesn't make any sense. How could that be a thing? And then an amount of time is going to go by, and eventually you're going to go, oh, why? That has happened to me every single time that I have used this knob to limit the throttle. It's not something that happens often, but every single time that it's happened, I've made that mistake. So fair warning. That's what you will get if you put throttle limiting on a knob. YouTube scrolled me to the bottom, scrolling back up. Oh, wow, there's lots of questions in the chat. Here we go! Nope. Super62 says, I hate your advice. I bought the Newbie Drone Race 3.1 65mm. I can't leave it alone. You cost me money. Sorry, typing on an iPad. I cannot wait. Wait a second. Didn't I order a... The other reason I was doing an order was to get a Nomad module. Did that... Oh, that was the... God damn it. It went... There was... when I went to check out, my shopping cart said something is out of stock, but it didn't tell me what it was that was out of stock. And that's what it was. It was the Nomad module. God damn it. My Naminmo module here does not work with the Newbie Drone Race 3.1. Newbie Drone went with a slightly different crystal oscillator that does not jive with this and a couple of other modules. And so I've been patiently waiting for the Nomad module to come back in stock, and it did, and then I missed it. That is frustrating. Because I want to fly that thing, yo! It's so light, and the motors are really good. And I like all the, like, apparently racers are just buying that thing to win. Like, they don't have to custom build rigs anymore. They just buy that rig. It's that good. So yeah, I want to fly mine, man. I should have just... Newbie Drone offered for me to send it back, and they would swap out the crystal oscillator, and I said, no, I'm getting a Nomad. It's all good. I don't want you to go through all that work. By the time you did that and sent it back to me, I'd probably have the damn module. Alas, here we are. Mary Bean says, or could you explain how motor limit and throttle limit work together? Motor limit limits the PIDs. Think of it this way. Motor limiting in the PIDs tab lowers the kV of the motor. Just think of that. It takes the kV of the motor and reduces it by whatever the percentage that you've got. Throttle limiting just acts as if you're not going full throttle. So if you put an 80% throttle limit on, when you go full throttle, it'll only send 80%. So it'll just, but the PIDs have everything else. The motor still functions as the kV that's stamped on it, but think of it as just changing the actual output from the throttle stick. If you do it with the knob, it literally is like the thing that you're going to do in Edge TX or Open TX is going to tell the knob to, you know, sprinkle fairy dust on it and never send 100%. to the quad. Cool. Andrew Taylor says Super 6.2 type Ciotti. Yeah, we got there. We're good. Level 1 Drone says, Mary Jones, I don't want to be odd one out. I just searched this page. There's a video posted 3 years ago. Can we get a quick update on motor and throttle limit? There you guys go. Uriel says, less efficient. M is more fun. M? Motors? I disagree. Super 6.2 says, I really do just love you, man. 65mm race 3.1. Can't leave it alone. Thank you, dude. Enjoy. Cheetonian says, Hisingy earned at least one sale by sending you that kit for free. My 7-year-old nephew is getting one from me for Christmas. Awesome. Let me know how he likes it. I'm super interested to know what the Hisingy stuff is like in the hands of a complete novice, but also like someone in, generation, whatever the hell the current generation is, like young people. I think it might be awesome for them. I don't know. Green Thumb forgot to type CiottiFPV, just typed Ciotti, but I happened to see it. He says, Flywheel Robo 080 2.4. That's weird. Got 6 spares now. We'll be looking to do another build with them. Interesting. 080 2.4. That's not a terrible size. I didn't know it existed. Spaceman Spish. Spaceman Spiff says, CiottiFPV fresh outer layer. What's that mean? Oh, yeah, this is a cool shirt. I like this shirt. I got this in, I do all of my clothes shopping at surf shops when and if I go to the beach. I'll go spend like a couple $100 the once a year or twice a year that I go to the beach. This was a problem when I lived at the beach, actually. But yeah, and so I hadn't actually been to the beach in a bunch of years. We went on a tri-state tour, our little family here, this year in the summertime, and we went to Wildwood, New Jersey, and there was an awesome surf shop there that I've been to a whole bunch of times when I lived up there. And yeah, I bought myself some clothes, and I bought this shirt, and I love it. It says Salty Crew on it. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. That's always been my like kind of style, is surf clothes. Notice says, the mid-throttle oscillation on your Mobula 6 back in the day, what was the cause? Bent shaft? Probably. Bent motor shafts are the typical cause of mid-throttle oscillations on tiny whoops. Although, very recently, I've started to notice that the GemFan tiny whoop props are not as well balanced as the HQ ones, and so that could potentially compound that problem, or depending on how slight the mid-throttle oscillation is or how angry you're going with your tune, could be the cause of the problem. That's one of the big reasons that I'm kind of moving over to HQ props on all of my tiny whoops, because yeah, over the last like 2 weeks, I've realized that all of the HQ ultralights are better balanced than the GemFan props, which is kind of wild. What I will say is that the GemFan props are balanced enough for you to get a rockin' PID tune, right? Like, I've been flying these GemFan props forever, and like, have you guys ever noticed that my PID tune sucks on a tiny whoop? Like, so it's a little bit of me splitting hairs. The other part of the reason is that the HQ ultralight props are legitimately lighter weight. And they reduce the response time, and they just feel awesome in the air. Admittedly, they're not as durable, so it freaks me out a little bit. And I have had a bunch of them explode. And when you lose a propeller like this, you can't take back off. So it's a little bit sketchy, and it kind of worries me. So like, if I'm ever going to be flying a tiny whoop in a place that's like unrecoverable, I'll pause for a second and be like, do I want to put the more durable GemFan props on here and sacrifice a little bit of performance for that durability? And then I'll probably not do it. And eventually I'll lose a rig and I'll be like, damn you, HQ. But, at least it'll just be a tiny whoop, not the $1,000 worth of 5-inch rig that I put into the fucking harbor at Charleston. a couple years ago. Cheetonian says, reminder to go buy your Nomad module. And also should out to the chat to go buy Nomad modules using Ciotti's affiliate link from Pyrodrone. Thank you, dude. I actually finally got in touch with Radio Master, and I'm going to see if they want to sponsor a series of live streams where I change everything that I have on Crossfire over to ELRS and Nomad. So we'll see. I'm actually... The module is only $45. I do wish that it had stayed on the cart and I had it. What I'm asking them for is the new radio. The new Radio Master transmitter looks an awful lot like the dimensions of this. I think it's shorter in this dimension, which I don't think I'm gonna like, because like one of the things about the QX7, I just have these really long fingers. And the way that the QX7 like just kind of sits in my hands is like perfect. I don't know. I've tried so many transmitters and none of them feel as good as the trusty QX7. But yeah, that new transmitter looks damn good. One of the things I really like about it is it's got folding gimbals, so you can fold these guys to the side, and it's just a lot flatter. Yeah, it looks really, really nice. So if they're willing to send me one, I will give it a real shot to see if I can replace these guys with it. Mick Mucus says, hey dude, what's the best way to charge a BT 3.0 battery without the tooth stir? Is it worth it to stick to XT30 if I have a good charger for that? No, suck it up and get a charger for it. You can get the little balance lead adapters, and then maybe you have, this is an old ass Emax 1S and 2S USB charger. The 2S side has balance leads, and then yeah, you can get these little BT 3.0 to balance lead jibbo jabbos. So this is how I've been doing it, and it charges 2 at a time. The other way of doing it, and you need one of these anyway, this is the BetaFPV BT 3.0 cell checker. Right? So you plug a battery into it, and it tells you the voltage, right? You need a cell checker for BT 3.0. So you got to buy one of these anyway. Well, BetaFPV hooked us up and put a USB-C port on here. So if you plug USB-C port onto this, it turns into a charger. Kind of sucks that it only charges 1 at a time, but you should have 2 of these anyway, one for your flight bag and one for your desk. So now you can charge 2 batteries at a time. And you're probably not going to buy a ton of BT 3.0 batteries. So, yeah, you got to buy one of these anyway. So just get one and then see how annoyed you get charging 1 battery at a time, and then maybe buy a second one. Or if you have an charger that uses balance leads to charge 2S, you can certainly get these little bastards. There you go. A couple different options for you. The Whoopster or the Toothster or whatever the hell, the BT 3.0 charger, it is made by Vifly, and Vifly does make awesome stuff. So it you know, if it eases the pain, you're supporting a great company that makes. Think of it this way, right? Vifly is who makes the short stopper, I think, right? Yeah, Vifly is who makes the proper short stopper. And this this very well may have saved you hundreds of dollars at some point. And so show Vifly your thanks by ordering whatever the BT 3.0 charger that they've got is. Maybe that'll help you out. I'm not buying a toothster though, because I can charge 3 batteries at a time, and I'm a cheap bastard. Mick Mucus says, hey, no, we got that. Himox says, quick update, I bricked an ESC on G4 4-in-1 BetaFPV AIO, and I unbricked it using an Arduino Uno. How did you find out where the pads were? Did BetaFPV get back to you, Himox? Or Himox? I know we were talking about this a bunch of streams ago. Himox also says, one of the motors 0702 23,000 doesn't spin. I inspected it, and I can see a wire that comes out of the winding is cut. Is this motor dead? I mean, you might as well try to fix it, but yeah, yeah, might as well try to fix it. Maybe it's not dead. I mean, the motor's fine if you can fix it, but Tokyo Dom's in the house. He says, motor solder crew, just laugh at the dilemma. Just rotate the flight controller sideways. Thank you, dude. Thank you. I always forget about that. Always. Always, always, always. That will not work because the motor plugs will then be in the way. Yep. The motor plugs will then foul on the battery. Thank you for reminding me that, though. I always forget that you can rotate it sideways. I could flip it upside down, but I hate that. I hate the idea of... And then the motor plugs are going to foul on the canopy. Yeah, so I can't flip the AIO upside down. Yeah, no, that's going to put the motor plugs here, and I can already see that they're too high. Yeah, so that won't work. Good call, though. Good call. Thank you for reminding me that you can do that. What I'm actually going to do is just buy another Mobula 7 V3 frame and throw those motors into it. Or, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put those motors onto this frame that has the 0803s into it, on it, and then it'll be fine. What's annoying, though, is that, and I did a Patreon post last night about this. This setup here was supposed to be the ultralight 2S analog setup because this Mobula 7 V4 frame is a full gram lighter than the V3 frame, and you don't have to use the motor spacers, and you don't have to use the longer screws. So this is 2 full grams lighter than when I had this build in the V3 frame with the 0803s. And I was really excited to see what 2 less grams flew like on a massively overpowered 2S analog rig, but alas. It's, I don't know. Maybe I'll still do the solder up an analog VTX to the BetaFPV AIO. Danzel the Trouble says, sorry I'm late. Hair's looking fantastic. I hate it right now. This is ultra oily. I haven't showered in 2 days. I put water in it before I went out dancing hair. Partner dancing, I should specify. I can't. I straight up cannot. I mean, I guess I can, but I'm not even remotely good at dancing by myself. I only know how to dance with a follow. Although now I'm actually learning to follow, so I can now dance with a lead. But yeah, I only know how to partner dance. I only really care to partner dance, to be honest. It's so much more fun than standing there moving around. I don't have the ego for that. Partner dancing, you get to touch lots of women. Although now that's a joke that I make with Maggie all the time, right? And I made that joke tonight. So when you get good if you want to get good partner dancing, you have to learn to both lead and follow. And so I've spent the last 6 months to a year learning how to lead, putting off I've been told by many of the best leads that eventually you have to learn how to follow. Now is the perfect time for me to learn how to follow because the Sunday classes I'm now kind of instructing, and I need to learn how to teach some of this stuff. So it was perfect. I'm doing the beginner class again Wednesday nights and watching like a hawk those instructors to figure out how they're instructing it, right? So that I can steal their way of instructing, and then I can do that on Sundays. And since I'm now back in the beginner class, it was the perfect time to learn how to follow. So now I'm learning how to follow. And so the joke of, Maggie's working on her doctorate, can't come with me on Wednesday night to go dance. I'll be right back. I'm going to go touch a bunch of women. Now that I'm learning to follow, the joke's on me. Now I'm going and touching a bunch of men because men are usually the leads. But what's funny is there's a whole bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of females that have been learned at the same rate as me, and they're now, a bunch of them are now in the beginner class learning to lead. So it's actually super funny. It's a little bit of a mix, but yeah, I can't use that joke anymore. And no, Tokyo Dom, I'm not going to direct solder those motors just so that I can turn that thing sideways. I do way too much testing for direct soldered motors. Danzilla the Terrible says, see my comment about knob warning. Yeah, I know. There is a way to put a warning if this knob is not at 100%. But there's something about OpenTX/EdgeTX that whenever I have to do something in there, it sets my anxiety to a level that is absolutely unreal, and I just hate it. I absolutely hate doing anything in Edge and OpenTX, and so, yeah. Also, I almost never use this knob to throttle limit. And so it's just not a big enough deal. If I ever did end up using this knob a bunch, I would do it and put the warning in. But it's, yeah, I cannot remember the last time I used that throttle limiting knob. But Danzilla Terrible is absolutely right. There is a way to put a warning on here every time you turn this thing on that if this is not at 100%, it will say something. It'll say, I don't know. Cheetonian says, Pyrodrone still seems like they have them in stock. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm not going to do a Pyrodrone order right now. I just did a Race Day Quads order, and Christmas is kicking my ass. Just went out and picked up Azalea a dresser last night that cost me $100. And yeah, I got a bunch of Christmas shopping still left to do. Thrash FPV says, so do you recommend 85mm or 75mm for a 2S at this point? 75. I'm looking for durability that 85mm doesn't seem to give me. Apparently, if you use the HGLRC Petrol 85mm frame, it is durable. My problem with 85mm is there's a shitload more duct in view, and it's unnecessarily heavy. The 75mm 2S rigs give me all the power and runtime that I want and need, and no matter what, they're going to be lighter than an 85mm build. So until I can't get the power or runtime that I need from a 75mm build, it doesn't make sense to go bigger, especially because there's going to be more duct in view, and that drives me insane. So yeah, it's 75mm for me. If you're trying to pick up a 20 or 30 gram camera, like the Insta360 Go 2 or 3, 85mm starts to make more sense, although my tiny lifters are 75mm and they fly okay. I am going to dive into 85mm rigs, though, at some point as Insta360 Go carriers. So we'll see. Thrash FPV says, and the Vifly buzzer has saved me hundreds. Yeah, Vifly makes really good stuff. They not only do they make, like, really good stuff, but their stuff is very well thought out. You ever notice that? Like, everything that they make, like, it's almost as if there's people that fly FPV working at Vifly. I know that's weird because, like, it more often than not feels like every other company doesn't have a single person that actually flies working for them because of the insane oversights that they have on a lot of their stuff. But yeah, Vifly is a company that, like, very obviously either has someone that's brilliant or actual FPV pilots, or both, because their stuff is just very well thought out, very well made, and, like, they make things that they don't just shit out products that they know are going to sell. They make products that fix something, or like they fill a hole. You know what I'm saying? Stop being gross. Ew. Tokyo Dom says, yeah, that device only works if you solder motors. Yeah, it took me a minute, but I got there. Captain Calgary's in the house. He says, what about riser to lift the USB? It is off. I was hoping you guys would see it when I tried to show it to you with the camera. It's off by, like, a lot. You'd have to raise the AIO, like, 5mm, and it's just, it ain't, you can't do it. Danzilla Turbo says, show us some dance moves. I can't. Maggie's not here. And this area is not big enough. I swear to God, like, I do not, when, if like, I separate from my dance partner, I just, like, I just do, like, the shuffle step. That's, like, the, you know, step and then together. So if these are your little feats, you go step and then together, and then step and then together, and then step and together. And for the record, that is really all you need to know. Like if you're at a place that has people dancing and there's like a cutie that you want to talk to, just go shuffle step. And like that's what most people are doing anyway. Like move your arms a little bit, like maybe like take your, when you go one side, like keep your hands on the other side, and then like this, like that's another little thing you can do, not look like a total asshole. But like that's really all you need to know to get them chicks. But if you're looking to pick up women, go learn to dance. There are lots of gorgeous women there waiting for you. Go learn to dance. And then when you're out in places that have music and shit on, you'll know how to dance, and then you can meet even more women. It's a total cheat code to meeting women, for the record, my friends. Blue Sky FPV says a 2-inch lift kit would get the USB plug out of the way. Uriel says, relax on Wednesday, it's fun, swinger. Martin Stanley says, is there a quick and easy way to quick charge 2S XT30 type batteries? Just put them on your big ass charger and put a shitload of amps into them. Yeah, do that. Don't do that. You'll hurt your batteries. Thrash FPV says the Petrol 85 doesn't fit the Mobula 8 motors. Well, that's a big old kick in the jimmies. Martin Tanley says, if you like the V3 better than the V4 in terms of flight... Wait. You like the V3 better than the V4 in terms of flight, or are there diffs? They're both great. We're talking about the Mobula 7 frames, V3 versus V4. They're both amazing. I actually like the V4 better because it's lighter, and you don't have to use the motor risers or the longer screws. But it's hard to use the V4 frame with 2S because it's not meant for 2S. It's meant for 1S. And so, yeah, it's a pain in the ass to use. The other thing, so there's really only the one AIO that's going to work, unless you direct side of the motors and turn the AIO sideways. But yeah, there's only that one BetaFPV AIO that's going to work. And then you're also going to have to carve out, it's not that bad, but you got to carve out a little section of the inside of the duct to be able to plug in. Again, it's not that bad. But yeah, the Mobula 7 V3 frame is damn near plug and play. And good Lord, am I impressed with how durable it is. It is the Mobula 7 V3 frame, no questions asked, is more durable than the V4. Like, I have broken 3 or 4 of the V4 frames on lightweight 75mm builds. I have battered the balls out of these 2 or 3 Mobula 7 V3 frames that I've got on heavier 2S, more powerful 2S builds, and I haven't broken one yet. So the V3 frame, yeah, durability is really important. And so the V3 frame is looking like it's going to be the one that I stick with, but I don't know. Cheetonian says, Christmas stream dance instruction session. Maybe. If you guys ask me, I might. But again, it's what I know is all partner dance stuff, and without a partner, it's really hard to learn. I guarantee you there is partner dancing near you. Type into Google the name of your city or a bigger city near you, partner dance. You will find a partner dance class. Go. It's super fun, and there are very cool people, and it's just a really nice life skill. You're going to move your body around. It's going to get you out of the sedentary shit. You're going to start to like there's muscles like in here, like you can move your chest independently from like your midsection and stuff. And like, I didn't know that. And it's really good. Go do it. Life hack, my friends. Denzel the Terrible says, I did not have dance tips from CiottiFPV on my 2024 bingo card. Neither did I. Yeah, Maggie saw in January of this year, Maggie saw a Facebook ad that our friend Wilder, who unfortunately took his own life a couple weeks ago, put up for his for Reframed, his company, at the bar where Maggie and I had our first date, which is like right down the street from us. And Maggie has this long history of dance. And I thought, so she told me about it, and I thought, wow, what a cool way to like show that I care about her interests, right? And like secretly I was like, it might be fun. And it's been amazing. It's been really, really cool. I got to become friends with and learn a ton from Wilder in the last year that we had him here on Earth, and it has gotten me way more in shape. I've met some amazing people. It's a really cool community of people. Like, just the people that are there are just good people. You know, like they're like the car community, for example. The car community is very toxic. There are small pockets of the car community that are amazing. Autocross, track day people. But the majority of the car community is awful. The dance community is not like that at all. It's like 98% really cool, really caring, intelligent, awesome people. And like that matters. I don't know if this is just me being an old man at this point, but like that really does matter to me. I have like people will ask me to go to bring the two out or eventually bring the Miata back out to car meets, and I just don't want to, because like the majority of the people there are just shit, and like that really does matter to me. And so that was a totally unexpected kind of thing. Is that, yeah, these partner dance classes are filled with just amazing, awesome people, and those are the people that I want to be around. The older I get, the less tolerance I have for shit people. And so when I find something where like the majority of the people involved in it are good people, that has become a lot more important to me. So yeah, maybe I'm just old. Can you guys hear the dog going nuts? Yeah, you can. I think that was Sage coming home. Teddy screams when Sage comes home. I don't know. He doesn't do it to any of the rest of us. NWFPV says, what's a good AIO for a Whoop running the Screamer motors? They seem to be amp hungry. Doesn't matter. None of the AIOs are the motors that you put on an AIO don't matter. The most durable, best AIO in my opinion is the Happy Model 2G4 that you can still get. It's kind of sort of been discontinued, but Weebleed has a ton of them in stock. The BetaFPV Air 4-in-1 and 5-in-1 AIOs are okay. They're lighter. The UFL port is very weak, so try to just plug an antenna in once and never unplug it. That's the main thing that I don't like about those AIOs. The newer Happy Model Super X AIO that comes in the Mobula 6 2024, it's okay. The UFL port is not as fragile as the BetaFPV ones, but it's still fragile. Which again is why I don't like that one either. It also is a little bit lighter than the 2G4. All of the other AIOs out there are just shit. Oh no, I'm sorry. The old school BetaFPV cross looking AIO is also good. It's been discontinued though. All the other AIOs out there are trash. The Happy Model Diamond AIO they should get them all together and melt them down and sink them to the bottom of the ocean because they're awful. What else? I don't know. Just all the 2G4 is a no-brainer. If you can find a 2G4 in stock, just get it. So durable, awesome, good to go. And then the Air AIOs and the Super X, they're okay. There's 5 different options for you. The BetaFPV old school cross one, if you can find it in stock. Those 5 options, stick there. Don't bother going anywhere else. It doesn't matter which one you buy. It doesn't matter what motors you're running. None of these motors on 1.2 inch props will push a 5 amp FET to its limit. So don't worry about any of that. Notice says, prep Maggie for the Christmas dance lesson stream. LOL. Uriel says, all hobbies I had all guys. I don't know what that means. Uriel also says, preach, bro. Deal. Striker says, putting the 2G4 above BetaFPV is crazy. No, it's not. BetaFPV does not have an AIO that is durable that has a VTX built in. Striker also says, tried the new supposedly heavy-duty BetaFPV 1S 5-amp AIO. I haven't. I just recently found out that supposedly they've fixed the UFL port. I have heard racers complaining about the new BetaFPV Air AIOs tacoing under hard crashes. The 2G4 is a crazy durable AIO that you don't have to worry about any of that bullshit with, and that is important for me. I will take durability over most other things. Spending $60, $70, $80 on an AIO, and then 20 batteries in, you crash it really hard and it explodes. That's bullshit. That I am not cool with that. So for me, it's the 2G4. It's a thicker AIO, which is why it's a little bit heavier, but the thicker the thickness makes it stronger. Although actually I think that the new BetaFPV Air AIO is a little bit thicker. So yeah, maybe it's better, but it's probably not much lighter than the 2G4, and the 2G4 is a known quantity. So yeah, I don't know. Hopefully the BetaFPV is better, and it's great. I have nothing against BetaFPV. They're awesome. They've sent me a bunch of stuff. I want to have another AIO option that's really, really good. But the new heavier duty one is like brand new, and so until we've had hundreds of people flying hundreds or thousands of batteries through it, I'm going to stick with the 2G4 because it's a known quantity, right? Striker says, what about the new race spec AIO? I'm assuming that you mean the Newbie Drone one. The Newbie Drone OSD situation keeps me away from their stuff. I just can't see where I'm going as good with any of the Newbie Drone AIOs versus any of the other ones that use the normal OSD chip. So yeah, until Newbie Drone switches to the old school giant pain in the ass to find room for on your board OSD, you know, I will test their gear, but I will not run it. Yeah. Uriel says, let my people go dance. Go dancing is a thing. That's crazy. Striker says, settling on Bind and Fly right now. Can't find Mobula 6 or Air 65 in stock. Yeah, it's going to be tough to find anything in stock right now with Christmas around the corner. Tokyo Dom says, I haven't bought one for a while, but from friends measuring, the 2G4 is now also 0.8 millimeters, so it's gone thinner. No shit. It's super light now. The new BetaFPV Matrix is 1 millimeter, so it would be heavier duty. That's funny. The 2G4 is now thinner. That, you know, that makes a lot of sense because I have always had builds with 2G4s that for no reason whatsoever, one build is a little bit heavier than the other. So that makes a lot of sense. I didn't realize that they'd gone lighter on the 2G. I think I did. I think I had heard somebody maybe mention that, but it didn't really seep into my brain. Levster says, what about the Red Fox flight controller from Sub 250 in the Nimble, for example? I don't know anything about it. If they send me one, I'll try it. But yeah, 2G4s are available on Weebleed. That's what I'm going to stick with. Striker says, what's wrong with the Newbie Drone OSD? Wait, what? I've talked about it a bunch of times. Newbie Drone uses a specific... They don't use the standard OSD chip. And so their OSD is not as see-through. The OSD is a layer. So their OSD is not as see-through. If you look at any Newbie Drone rig ever, and you look at the video quality from it, it's always worse than every single other AIO using a regular OSD chip. So yeah, unfortunately, Newbie Drone rigs are just it's just hard to see where you're going, basically. All right, cool. We've got 35 minutes to see what the deal is with these RCinpower motors. 35 minutes. I think that'll be enough time to fly both of these. And then, all right, so this is the one that I'm going to pull apart to swap over to these motors. So we're going to fly this first because this is the lowest power of the rigs. So we'll fly this first, and then I'm going to pull it apart. I'm going to put it into this frame, and then we're going to fly this 40,000 kV ultra lightweight build. And then we're going to fly the RCinpower motor. So we're going to go from like, basically what we're doing here is we're going third most powerful. Not quite. Just pretend like you haven't seen Rosser's motor testing. The third most powerful Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop to the second most powerful set of 0702 motors to the most powerful. It's pretty close. We're not quite. The BetaFPV 0702 30,000s, I think, made a little bit more power. So did the Newbie motors, but it's really close. The BetaFPV 0702 30,000 kV motors, the Newbie 0702 30s, and then the Happy model 32,000s, 36,000s. All four of those motors make very similar amounts of power. They're so close together that it kind of doesn't matter. The Happy model 40,000 kV motors, I think, make a little bit more power, but it's still really, really, really close. The RCinpower 0702 29,000s make significantly more power than any of those motors. I almost just pulled this thing apart to begin with, but I figured it might be nice to just rip one quick battery through it tonight before we before I tear it down. So let's do that right now and see what's what. All right, hold on. I gotta unplug the VRX and plug it back in. I have still not hung the gates back up down here. And so it's going to be a full throttle fiesta, which is what these motors do really good. So that's kind of perfect. All right, away we go. Bunch of batteries charged here. Let me put them in the spot that I put charged batteries. As soon as I plug one of these things in, Teddy will come running. We can laugh at him for a minute. And away we shall go. Here we go. Ready? Ready? Listen real carefully. You'll hear him run across the floor upstairs and then run down the stairs. Oh, God. Get in there. Get. There we go. All right, people. Oh, no, he doesn't care. He might be asleep or something. Whoa, easy, big fella. Low power until first arm. We now armed. Here we go! 36,000 kV 0702 Fireflies with HQ ultralight 1.2 by point... Oh, God. Oh, God. This has gone well. Where am I? What am I looking at? I'm looking at a wormhole here? Oh. Oh, can I skirt out? Can I get out of there? Nope. Maybe. Oh, this thing is going to be filled with hair. What am I stuck on? Stop. Just go get it. Oh! I was stuck on the yogurt mat. The yoga mat got me, yo. Ugh. All right, let's try this again. I don't think I've run these props on a motor. Oh boy, on a motor this high kV. I crashed into the top of the workbench, or the toolbox rather. Easy. Woo, Jesus. These props feel great with these motors. Big power. Wow-wee. What did I just knock down? Oh, my God. Easy, fella. Oh, come on. What did I knock down? What's that? Oh, it's Sackboy. Is this going to be one of those nights that I can't fly worth a shit? I was flying great earlier. Nope, yep. Not flying great. For the record, that was out the top and then out the middle. It's hard to see. Ah! Ah! Wow, I am weirdly adjusted to the 75mm 2S rig, I can just, like, kind of feel that my reactions are dialed for that at the moment. I've been flying that a bunch lately. By the time I get to the RCinpower motors, I'll be adjusted a little bit better. Easy. All right, so let's do some low altitude stuff. The Happy Model motors are my favorite, as I blow the gap, are my favorite in terms of the way that they put power down so that I can fly really low to the ground somewhat accurately as I miss it again. Okay. See if I can get it. Admittedly, it's a tough gap to shoot. Oh my god. Nope, not quite. What I'm assuming the main weak point of the RCinpower's motors will be is throttle control. If nothing else, then just because they have so much power. And when you have a lot of power, inevitably. So that was actually crash recovery freaking out and fucking me over. How is that even possible? I wanted to drop it down into that cube, but I didn't quite get it there. Almost, but it's close enough. Let's try it one more time. Oh, you know what? The ORT micro... I used to do that gap a lot before the ORT Micro V. I have this antenna hanging way out the top. And that's the third time in a row that the antenna has hit. The first couple times was just me flying like a buffoon. But the ORT... look how tall the ORT antenna sits, right? Like, that gap is like this. So yeah, that's actually kind of funny. The ORT is going to make that gap significantly more difficult. What about when I'm nose down? It's even worse. So if I go in, I should flatten out when I go into that gap. Actually, like look how tall this is, right? Whereas when I flatten out, that's a huge difference. That's funny. So there you go. 36,000 kV 0702s. Let's pull this. Well, let's fly a battery on the 40,000 kV. Lightweight rig on the Gemfan 1202s. Might as well, real quick. Just as sort of like a comparison point between these two. And then I'll swap this over. So, here, real quick. This rig is lighter because of the light AF frame. And it has more power. And it has direct soldered motors. But it is a different AIO. This is not a 2G4. Well, God, Christ, the AIO is different, too. The AIO is a little bit lighter. Woo! Yeah, it's lighter. And more powerful. Yep. Alright, let me readjust. This is on different props, though. This is on the Gemfan 1210. 1210 props. Because this has... the 1.5 mil motor shafts. Man, this thing is so much lighter that the hover point is lower. Woo! Yeah, okay. 40,000 kV motors for sure have more power. You see how I'm bouncing up? See how when I drop... Whoop. See how when I drop down, it's not like... I'm not just hammering the elevation and getting like locked in immediately. It's bouncing up a little bit. That's because it's lighter and it has more power. Hey, don't do that to me. Oh, Jesus. Oh, almost got it. Nope. There was no exit there. Through the top. Oh! Oh, God! Why would I go for a second Matty flip? Why not just be cool with the one? Hey. good while it lasted. Why do I feel like when I do anything like challenging or good, I can do it 14 more times? Why not just fly away? Ugh! How are there so many spots in here that are unrecoverable? Is it just me, or did this thing absolutely chew through this battery? Minute and 43. Yikes. Oh, here he comes. There he is. Whoa, Teddy! He's checking out Sackboy. Oh, dude. Whoa! Whoa! Boy, getting brave. Look at that face! See him put his little head down? He was like, I'll show you. Hey, now we're getting a little flow. Oh! Yeah, it takes me a little bit to get adjusted, but I do adjust. Oh, hi, buddy. Whoa! 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 He coming. He coming. He eating. He hungry. He hungry. Look at him. Ah! Why do I fly like such a buffoon? Can you believe this is the same camera? This is also a Runcam Nano 3. But there have been a lot of generations of the Runcam Nano 3. 2 minutes and 45 seconds. That's not too bad. All right. So there you go. We are going to swap the first rig that I flew over and experience a higher power to weight ratio than ever before. Green Thumb says, would anyone buy a $20 UV flashlight to find a $500 quad? Thinking conformal coating might show up. It would a little bit. It would a little bit. Tokyo Dom says, please do this test on a low KV, low power whoop, throttle mid 1.0, expo 0.7. Throttle mid 1.0. Throttle mid 1.0. What is that all the way at the bottom, or is that all the way at the top? What so that what you're doing there is either drastically raising or drastically lowering the hover point. Which is it? I do not like that. Somebody in chat recently told me that Rosser recommends with his super powerful supernova motors that you do that you put throttle expo on with the set point zeroed out so that the hover point raises. That is completely insane to me. Yes, it will raise the hover point, but you will lose throttle resolution from from like 5% to 100%. And like throttle resolution is super important. So yeah, I that is a crazy thing to suggest, in my opinion. I mean, I guess if you're going to run a horrendously powerful motor, then you're going to have to make some sacrifices. But like, if you want to fly even remotely decent, that is a terrible idea. Like, throttle control is the hardest thing to master in FPV. And doing that is going to make it significantly harder. Like, even if you've mastered it, it's going to make it more difficult. So yeah, that just seems insane to me. But hey, if you just want a mega powerful motor that you can hurl your shit into the heavens, you know, then you might not care about throttle resolution, because all you're doing is going from cruising throttle to full throttle over and over again, hammering it up into the clouds. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the audience for that motor won't care about that. But yeah, I don't know. I would rather engineer the motor to have a hover point that's not so low. But like, how do you really do that? I know there are ways to do it, but like, if you make a motor that has tons of power, no matter what, the hover point's going to start to creep down. So it's yeah, it's tough. It's a tough nut to crack. People say shit in this world that's like, didn't you think at all before you said that? I should describe myself as well. Get in there, you fart bag. I love these Cockroach V3 and Light AF frames so much, but the camera plug on the 2G4 is in the worst possible spot for these frames. And the way that the top, like one of the reasons these frames are so good is that the top of the duct flares outwards, and it's just like perfectly wrong for the 2G4 camera plug. Once you get it, you're fine. But like this point, and see, I'm fine now, but that 30 seconds before then was extra painful. I lived though. I lived through it, and it's fine. Man, I can't see what the hell I'm doing. This is black on black. I don't have the nerd goggles on. I'm just pushing as hard as I can at this point. Maybe it'll work. I think I just ripped that grommet. Why does that grommet look like that? How the hell did that even happen? What? What is happening with this grommet back here? How did it only slide out on the side like that? What? There it goes. Just keep pushing. Just push harder on it. That's the solution. The obvious solution. It is so much different working on Tiny Whoops off stream versus on stream. Like trying to do this fiddly Tiny Whoop shit in a hurry so that you guys don't have to just watch me like. It makes it like 700 times harder. It's remarkable. All right, man. Here we go. Getting these screw holes lined up. Got the motors plugged in. Figure out what direction they're turning in Betaflight. And then I think I'm going to run the HQ props. Since these are 1mm motor shaft motors, I might as well run the ultralight props. Boy, these motors will not really need those ultralight props, though. These motors will have enough grunt to get good response time out of any propeller you throw at it, more than likely. But we'll use them anyway. What the hell? You know? What I'm not going to do is run it on tri-blades. That's suicide. Striker says, Air 65 Champion would have been perfect. It's a hell of a rig. Yeah, there are pluses and minuses of all. No, it gives a... Tokyo Dom says, it gives a high KV feel for low KV motors. It's much less noticeable than it sounds. That makes sense. Yeah, low KV motors have acres of throttle resolution. And so, yeah, putting the midpoint up really high, yeah, that's pretty cool, actually. That's a pretty cool little trick. It would still drive me insane, though, that at full throttle, those motors wouldn't have the power that I sort of want and or need. On the RC drift car chase rigs, I run lower KV motors, and oh my god, the throttle resolution is just so amazing. Oh, it's so cool to be able to like adjust my elevation by like what feels like millimeters at a time. Oof. It is really magic. All right. And we are plugged in. Oh god, no. Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right. Betaflight. What's happening with you? Did I miss any chat comments? I don't think. No, we're good. I'm exhausted, man. I didn't get shit for sleep last night. I was manic as fuck last night. I got a lot of work done, though. Which was nice. Okay, in we go to Betaflight to get these motors spinning in the correct directions. Never know, they might be good to go right out of the box. I guess it's kind of 50-50 whether or not they're right already. Let's see. Motor 1 is wrong. Motor 2 is wrong. Motor 3 is right. That's weird. Motor 4 is wrong. What? That is super rare. 1 is wrong. 2 is wrong. And 4 are wrong. Wow. Let's see if they will actually reverse. Of course they won't. That would make life way too easy. Alright. Going to ESC configurator to reverse the direction of the motors the old school way. What did I say? 1, 2, and 4, right? Normal to reversed. Nope. Normal to reversed. Reversed to normal. Normal to reversed. Right settings. Good to go. Let's just double check. Understand the risks. Motor 1 is now correct. 2 is now correct. 3 is now correct. 4 is now correct. Happy days! All right. Let's throw some props on here, and we'll put it up in the air. Do I have... I do. These are the... I don't think you can even buy these right now. HQ ultralight bi-blades. They are 1.2 by 1.2 by 2. And yeah, like I said, I don't actually think that you can buy these quite yet, but you will be able to very, very soon. High left, high right, and high right. What I will say about these propellers is that they are way too tight on the motor shafts. Although I've had this weird sneaking suspicion that different motor manufacturers use different outer diameters for their motor shafts. So let's actually take a quick look. On Happy Model motors, you have to drill these props out, or you will wreck the motor for sure. Oh, now that's super interesting. So RCinpower uses thinner motor shafts because these are pretty much perfect on these RCinpower motors. I don't like that at all. I would rather have to drill all my propellers out for an extra 0.2 millimeters of motor shaft diameter. So I certainly hope that the material that they use for these motor shafts is stronger than the Happy Model material, because otherwise these are going to be some fragile ass motors. I know a lot of the racers are running these RCinpower 0702 27000s though, and I wouldn't think that they would run them if they were fragile. So there it is. Let me give you guys a quick dry weight on this build. This is a pretty standard old school Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop, so it should be like right at 18 grams. And it's 18.2. So it's right there. Boy, is that not going to matter, though, because apparently these make so much power that the whole building is going to collapse in on itself. Time for the wormhole to open and gobble up the entire Earth. Let's see what happens. It's also now a Christmas whoop because it's green. It's got a green light on the back and red motors. Oh, Teddy, you should take a few steps back, fuzzy man. ELRS, are you going to link up? Hey. Yeah, you are. There he is. Teddy, back up, buddy. Okay, RCinpower 0702 29,000 kV motors, the most powerful motors that Chris Rosser has ever tested. They're not that bad. They're not... They make power, don't get me wrong. But they're not like... The first time I flew the 40,000s... Maybe I'm just desensitized. But the first time I flew the 40,000s, I thought my head was going to fall off. Woo! Okay. Yeah, I mean, they have power. Maybe they're... maybe I should try them on a different prop. I have not put a ton of time on this new HQ biblade. Hey. I mean, the battery is kind of dead, but just real quick, like. Yeah, they have power. Oh, yeah. Don't fall in the dog bowl. Thank you, Tiny Whoop. Oh, come on now. Oh, it's going to take me a fucking fortnight to get out of this corner. Why is this fucking back door open? Jesus Christ. It's like 20 degrees outside. Come on, man. I'm spending like $400 a month on fucking electricity. Oh my god, I'm right next to the dog bowl. Why can't I get out of this fucking corner? Oh. I'm not having a great flying night, my friends. Stop! I'm starting to get kind of annoyed with crash recovery. It is causing... It's starting to feel like it's causing more crashes than it's helping with. Ooh, that is usually a really hard power loop. And I usually come up short on it. Today! These make some stank, yo. But here's the problem with these motors. Here's the problem with these motors. And look at that. The battery is so at some point sagged all the way down to 3.3. It's bounced all the way back up to 3.7. But I usually like that is when I usually stop flying these batteries. I like for them to bounce back up to 3.8 so that I don't have to storage charge them. A minute and 50 seconds is too short. That is not enough runtime. That is so. My rule of thumb with runtime is you never want to be under 2 minutes because that means that you are dumping so much heat into your batteries that you're gonna kind of hurt the batteries. And so yeah, that is gonna be the. Oh Jesus Christ! Why can't things just work? It's fine. Yeah, like I'm all for mega power, but there is a point where you gotta have some efficiency, and my god, the Happy Model motors are so efficient. Is it ever gonna stop spinning, or is it just... Oh, I didn't check the RPM. Let's do a big old run upstairs. Ooh, yeah, they boogie. All right, let's come back downstairs. I don't want to wake the whole fucking house up. Oh. Whoa! 59,000. That is the highest RPM I've ever seen. I'm not having a good night of flying, and it is. I'm very annoyed by it, which makes the situation even worse. Hey, God damn it. Stop, Teddy! Is this brownie all over the floor? What is this? Oh my god, the transmitter battery is going dead. I'm just going to turn the volume down. Wow. Oh god. Oh boy. Oh! I will say this, the throttle resolution actually feels totally fine. Let's see. Oh, for God's sakes. Not a great night of flying for me. But hey, come on now. Yeah, I'm not dialed in even a little bit tonight. Oh, come on, man. Yeah, not bad. Doing about as bad of a job at that as I was with the Happy Model motors. Come on, man. Oh. In fairness, for that 59,000 RPM number, I've not been flying these particular props for very long to like have a good comparison there. There's a chance that these props like are actually a lower pitch or flatten out or any number of things that could allow them to turn, that could allow these motors to turn an artificially high amount of RPMs. We got a little bit more flight time out of this one. 2 minutes and 23. That's not bad. Man, that's a lot of RPM though. Holy Christ. Ugh. You weren't missing much. You were not missing much. This is a fresh battery. Here we go. Maybe this will be the Ultra Chaos. Woo! Hold on, let me get it upstairs on a fresh battery. Jesus, look at the voltage sag all the way down to 3.9, 3.8. Jesus Christ. Oh! 61,000. Good Lord, man. Ah! Hard to fly these really powerful rigs. Yeah, wow, this thing is, whoa, what the hell was that? There's a chance I just hit the dog. I'm doing those, for the record, I'm doing these a little different lately. I'm over-rotating on the pitch back to generate a bunch of rearward momentum to fly across the room. Like that. It doesn't look as cool. It doesn't look as cool when you do it that way. Oh, you scumbag. Yeah, I mean, these obviously make more power. Not obviously. They make more power. But, It might be too much. It is really hard to fly. In the same way that the 40,000 kV motors are really, really hard to fly. So like if you're gonna fly a 65 millimeter whoop in a big spot, yeah, these are good for that. As long as you don't need runtime. Okay. Woo! That is fucking cool looking, is it not? Oh, yo! That was massive! Hey! So I like to bring my batteries back when at a dead hover like this, they're at 3.5 volts. So I'm running most of these batteries down a little bit lower than I normally do. And the runtime is still pretty short, 2 minutes and 15. It's not that bad though. Usually I get like between 2 minutes 45 and 3 minutes, as you saw earlier in the live stream. So like it's not that far off. Here's the thing though. They don't make that much more power, I don't think, than the Happy Model 40,000s. And the Happy Model 40,000s are a lot more efficient. So, yeah, makes it an easy choice. You're not gonna hem and haw trying to decide these motors versus the 40,000s. If you want more efficiency, it's the 40,000s. If you want more power, it's these. So that's actually a real good thing, right? Like when we have too many options and like a bunch of options are really close to one another, it's super annoying, right? And you waste all this time going back and forth, and then it doesn't matter anyway. So this is cool. This is cool that we've got this this mega powerful option. And there is a drawback. Do I wish that these were also efficient? Of course. But with the 40,000 kV Happy Model motors, if you want mega durability, you can get bells from Weebleed that have a 1.5 millimeter motor shaft, and it's only a matter of time before we have more propellers that'll work with them. There's your bonus for staying to the end of the live stream. So there you go. I'm gonna do one more, I think, but I gotta change the transmitter battery. Buddy, you are being extra right now, and I'm like just annoyed, and so I'm thinking about lighting you on fire. How's that sound? Would you like to burn to a crisp tonight? No? All right, well then calm down. You maniac. Schnauzers are an interesting breed. I don't know if I'd recommend them. They're adorable, don't get me wrong. And he's not a bad dog, but oh boy. There is no off button. All right, man. Here we go. Let me try a different set of props. Let's try. It's only 12:05. Let's try a different set of props on here. Maybe these bi-blades are not the best suited for a motor of this with this much stank. Oh boy. Okay. Maybe I won't try a different set of props. I have the clone popper on the way, which has a thinner fork on it. These propellers might be stuck on here until then. I gave them an extra little bit of push when I put them on, and I'm having a hard time getting this fork underneath. So pry these up. Let's try again. Oh boy. Okay, so the problem I'm having is it's the hub on these propellers. When you look at these props from the side, the hub is small, and the forks on this thing are separating rather than digging in. And I don't think I'm going to be able to get these props off with this Weebleed prop puller. Nope. Nope, they are just riding up the bottom of the propeller. That's interesting. I've never run into that before. I'm going to leave these props on. Because the clone popper will get shipped from Tiny Whoop in a couple days and it'll be here in a week. And I really like the way that these props fly because of how light they are. So we'll just stick with these propellers. Hopefully I don't bang one up. Here we go again. RCinpower 0702 29,000 kV world-ending motors. Whoa. So that was actually the PID loop freaking out a little bit. Basically what that means is that the PID tune is at its limit. That was a clumsy crash. So having lots of power allows you to do shit like this. Like, it opens up new things that you literally cannot do with less powerful motors, which is really cool. And I really like that. I always have liked that about the really high kV motors. The problem is it makes flying inside of a house, which is pretty close quarters, super difficult. Like, almost unreasonably difficult. It took me so many batteries to get good enough to do some of this stuff. Maybe that's just because I'm a shitty pilot and you know, maybe, like, that's not the norm and most people will adjust faster. But that's been my experience. So, fair warning. You need to do it anyway, because it's hysterical. And you can fly this thing outside, and you'll have an absolute blast. Even if you get pushed around by the wind. But, yeah. I've never claimed to be, and will never claim to be, a great pilot. But a set of Tiny Whoop motors that make this kind of power will make even a great pilot have to really work for it. Get it? Nope. I thought I could maybe throw it into the cube. Yeah, I'm running all these batteries down lower than I usually do. I'm gonna give them some time to bounce though. I've not been recharging them, and then I'm gonna put the voltage checker on them and see what they bounced back to. We'll do one more, just one more. No. Hey, we're gonna go back to the 40,000 kV Happy Model motored rig with Gemfan 1210 biblades. These are heavier props, heavier bell, so I'll probably be able to tell a difference in response time. But yeah, this will be a super cool little test here. I didn't just Stevie Wonder that whole battery, did I? Oh my god, are you kidding me? I'm the worst. No, I mean, I have to. I've only shown you guys like one fucking battery of me flying this. Oh my god, what an asshole. What kind of an asshole does it twice in a row? Jesus. The face of rage, I saw someone say. Oh my god. Alright. Alright, I triple checked. Ah! Whew, I got lucky there. Oh, come on. Did you guys see how angry I was getting? That's funny. Come on, man. Why everything? Why? Ah! What am I doing? Ah! Trying to simulate the mega power loop. Oh! Whoa. Oh, almost. Oh my god, yo. I mean, this is all you were missing. Me just smashing into things and getting annoyed. Oh, boy. Rough night on the sticks for me, my friends. Well, that time crash recovery helped me, which was nice. Oh man, these props are starting to get beat up. Woo! Whoa, Teddy! Oh, nope. Get in there, you! Try to do a little bit low elevation. Nope. I'll just smash face first instead. Hey, there we go. Yeah, and the antenna hit the bottom of that damn thing. That just went from like incredibly challenging to like unreasonably challenging. 2 minutes and 4 seconds. That's not enough runtime. I'm a real fan of 3 minutes runtime. 3 minutes is really where I always find myself wanting to be in terms of runtime. And I'm just not quite getting that from this. Once I have a way of getting these propellers off, I will try this on different props to see if we can get some of the runtime back. But yeah, at the moment, that's a bit of a deal breaker. This is a bit of an unfair comparison because this rig is lighter, but the Happy Model motors are more efficient. End of story. Wow, the hover point. Hold on, I might have the throttle expo set wrong on here because this hover point is significantly lower and it's driving me insane. Oh god, I just smashed right into the fucking TV. 25-ish. I'm not looking where I'm going. I'm looking at the OSD so I can set this hover point. Set the throttle expo point, I should say. Yep, it was set way too high. The way that those RCinpower motors put power down feels great, though. What the hell was that? So, what's the power difference? Ooh, Teddy boy. Wow, these still have tons of power, man. Okay. I gotta be honest, man, pretty similar. There are a lot of differences, though. This is on a completely different propeller. Stop, 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 stop. Let me fly, crash recovery. God damn you. It's going to fall down back behind. Ready? In 3, 2, 1. Oh my god, no way! Oh. Oh! This battery might be hurt because this is an obnoxiously low amount of runtime. Either this battery didn't get fully charged or I hurt this battery at some point. Let's see if I hurt the battery at some point. So you can always tell by going back to like a dead hover and seeing if the voltage recovers like crazy. I have discharged these batteries a few times, but not a lot. No, I don't know. Maybe I didn't charge the battery all the way. Usually I'll get like 2 minutes and 45 out of the 40,000 kV motors. There you go. The RCinpower motors are really good. Don't get me wrong. But the definitely less runtime, which Rosser's testing showed that, you know, the efficiency doesn't lie, and all the racers have been saying that. So definitely not God's motor. I thought they would make more power than this. Maybe it's a prop thing. Maybe these new Gemfan ultralight biblades are. So my guess is that they're potentially so lightweight that they're flattening out with this much power. It doesn't sound like they are, but I don't know. So I need to fly these RCinpower motors with different propellers to really be able to make the call on whether or not they make enough extra power to warrant the hit that you take in efficiency. But hey, if you want straight up the most powerful tiny whoop motors that there are, these are the ones. No questions asked. But man, I don't know. Either these ultralight biblades are a less thrusty propeller than the Gemfan 1210s, or these RCinpower motors don't really make that much extra power than the Happy Model 40,000s. Your safe bet is to get the Happy Model 40,000s from Weebleed. These RCinpowers are super interesting, and I'm going to test them more. But at the moment, if I could only have one of these two sets of motors, it would be the Happy Models. They're more efficient. You can put these bells that Weebleed sells on them with 1.5mm motor shafts, or you don't have to. Yeah, both great motors though. We are spoiled for good motor choices right now in Tiny Whoop, which is great because 5-inch rigs have had that situation for a whole bunch of years now. You know, and like at this point, it's hard to build a bad 5-inch freestyle rig. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. Absolutely nothing wrong with these motors. I am not going to call them God's motor yet. I'm never going to call them God's motor, but yeah. I expected a little bit more out of them. From seeing the numbers in the thrust test, I expected a little bit more. But here's the other thing. In the thrust test, you know, we look at the graph and we see that the RCinpower motors make more. When you actually look at the numbers, they make like 3 more grams of thrust or something. Let's take a super quick look. We got 1 more minute. Let's see. Easy. There's efficiency. Here's thrust. So, 0702, 29,000. So it's right here, right above this line. And then where are the 40,000s? The 40,000s are right here. So the 40,000s are in the middle here. And then the RCinpower motors are slightly above. And so if we go to the left, The RCinpower motors are making like 41 to 42 grams of thrust, and then the 40,000 kV Happy models are making 37 to 38. So we're only talking about 4 grams of thrust. Yes, times 4 motors, but see what I'm saying? Like it's not that much of a difference. Stop it! What the hell is going on? Why did it do that? What even is this? How does this even happen? What is this nonsense? How do I make it not like this? What is going on? None of the keystrokes work. Oh, I was hitting the wrong button. Got it. I got it. It's fine. I'm annoyed tonight, man. I'm hungry and I'm tired. Go figure. Yeah, there you go. I wonder how durable they are. Last thing, super quick. I put some crashes into them. Let's spin them up in turtle mode. And just see. Make sure that they're not all bent up yet. I'm worried that the motor shafts are a little bit thinner. And so I'll do a super quick motor health check. Flip into turtle mode, arm it, and gently spin one propeller up, one motor up at a time. Clean, clean, clean. Oh yeah, motor 4 is starting to get a little bit banged up. Could be the hair that's in it. Could be a bent prop. Well, there goes the hair. Nope. Yeah, motor 4 is either motor 4 propeller is bent or the motor shaft is starting to get bent. I am not convinced that any of these tiny whoop motors with 1mm motor shafts are more durable. That has not been my experience. They are all not durable enough. Which makes the Weebly bells with 1.5mm motor shafts a big fucking deal. So, yeah. RCinpower, make these motors with a 1.5mm shaft, yo. Prop manufacturers, make all your tiny whoop motors with tiny whoop props with 1.5mm shafts, yo. Let's end the madness of fragile tiny whoop motors. Have a good night, friends. Here comes some more flying out in front of the house with 2S 75mm magical magic. Don't do this, computer. I will smack you. See you guys on Friday at 7 o'clock. CiottiFPV.com to support me so I can keep doing this. Love you. Bye.